What's going on, boxing all over the world? It's your boy, Pool Counter Boxing, coming at you with another boxing video for the boxing heads and the boxing minds. Oh boy, it has started again. All the media, all the people out there, all the propaganda against Deontay Wilder. They're trying to humiliate the man. They're trying to make it seem so bad, that he get this fight. He get this fight that he was already agreed to do with Tyson Fury. Boy, the fear is terrible out there. The anger, the frustration, it's all coming to a head. It's interesting to see Americans hating on their own athlete and pushing for a foreign international fighter in Tyson Fury. This is a historical thing in America. Things that we see, not only is it historical, it's you can see it on a corporate level too. Stephen A. Smith hating on Wilder, talking about, man, you don't want a third fight with Tyson Fury because he got beat up so bad in the last fight. Stephen A. Smith, are you serious, bro? Are you serious? You see how hard this man struggled to get a fight that he was already due. So you're going to take the position that Deontay Wilder should be so scared from the last fight that he should never come back and try to get the rematch. Who have ever heard of such a thing in boxing? There's been many fighters who lost matches, devastatingly. Lennox Lewis got knocked out by Rockman. Mike Tyson got knocked out by Buster Douglas. There's many examples of fighters who got beat and came back, right back, and knocked out, the opponent that knocked them out. So I don't understand how this whole bandwagon thing against Wilder is building up again. We saw it after the defeat. They rallied and tried to, turn the screw into Wilder's backside. They were saying he was depressed. They were saying that Wilder was never going to come back. They was trying to retire the man without any facts coming out of his mouth. They were saying that Wilder was not a good boxer and he need to sharpen up his skills. And we're talking about a man who has 42 fights, a man who has knocked out or knocked down almost every opponent he ever faced. He lose one fight and they want to broad stroke that over his entire career. That tells you a whole lot of what's going on here. Tells you a whole lot. He lose one fight, and we can go back in boxing history and we can see all the fighters who have lost. Muhammad Ali lost a few, right? Larry Holmes, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Holyfield. All these fighters have lost. But why is it over for Deontay Wilder? I'll tell you why it's over for him. Because they want Deontay Wilder out of the picture. They do not want him as the face of boxing. So every generation or so, the media, the corporate types, and they want their pick of who they want to be the face of boxing. Like right now, you can look at Canelo Alvarez. Even though they know he's ducking all the tough competition, nobody cares. You know, nobody cares. And they keep attaching Floyd Mayweather to everything about ducking. You notice that? Have you ever noticed that? They never talk about Pretty Boy Floyd, who had to beat up everybody and, try to run down everybody to fight when they avoided him. All the, you know, uh, Diego Corrales, the Castillos, he fought. They never talk about that. They talk about Money Mayweather. They talk about the last part of his career. They never talk about the first part of his career. So when you look at boxing and the coverage of media, they cherry pick, just like people online. They cherry pick their facts to fit their narrative. So the casuals, they're not getting the full case. Only the hardcores know. The hardcore knows because we follow the sport day to day. The casuals don't know nothing. They believe they believe the cherry pick facts that are being told. So when they see Wilder and they hear that he's going to retire, when they hear that Wilder is he took such a bad beating that there's no way he can beat Tyson Fury. These are narratives that they are putting out there. When you see Stephen A. on ESPN begging Wilder, begging him not to come back and fight Tyson Fury, this is not by accident. It's not by accident because they're upset that Wilder has interrupted the fight for undisputed in Britain between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. So this is a big problem. This is a big problem for the promoters, Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum. So they're going to make sure that if Wilder become victorious in this fight with Tyson Fury, at least his reputation will take a hit. It'll take a big hit. They're going to run down the fight. They're talking about all kind of disgusting things in the media. I heard the interview with Tyson Fury when he said, I guess he got to go crack Wilder in the head again. And, it's like this toxic hatred for Wilder out there. It's not exaggerated. I mean, you can see the language that is used when it comes to Deontay Wilder. It's always a little extra. It's always a little over the top language that you never hear, in boxing. Trying to humiliate this man, trying to, get at this man personally in a very derogatory way. So when you take a look at this fight, just remember that there's a lot on the table. There's a lot on the table for America. There's a lot on the table for boxing fans. If you love boxing, if you're a real boxing fan, this is one of the most exciting fights that you will ever see, because you have the motive of Tyson Fury cheating Deontay Wilder in his last fight, being on PEDs. You can see the glove all jacked up in the pictures, all up over his arm. I mean, you can. It's just plain and simple. I mean, people try to make it seem like you can't see the glove all over the place. I mean, they got pictures where you can see under the glove. You can see under the glove, people. So it's not fantasy. And the sad part is, a lot of people already know, because Tyson Fury can't crack an egg. He can't crack an egg. You don't go to one training camp, then all of a sudden you get great power, and then you go off and fight some no names, and you can't even bust a grape. So you already know there's funny business going on there. And what they're afraid of what what the powers that be, the corporate media, the promoters, what they're afraid of is that Tyson Fury is going to get exposed. He's going to get knocked out. And Wilder never had a doubt about this. He just needed his opportunity. And so now the great undisputed battle for the two Brits are upset. Might be upset because Wilder has come back into the picture. Now they're trying to shame him. They're trying to do everything they can to make it so uncomfortable for the Bronze Bomber. All we can do is rally behind Wilder as Americans and hope that they don't try to come up with some funny business again, and that it's an equal and fair playing field. That's what I think about it. This has been Pool Kind of Boxing. Please like and subscribe my videos, and I'll see you guys on the next one.